Oh, blessed love. Give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life. Wonderful. Give thanks for being in the presence of the Almighty Eye once again. Of course, you know you're in the tiger's nest. The Honorable Priest Isaac here with you. Of course, a bundle of joy and righteousness at the moment. I really do hope and pray everyone is blessed. We definitely intend to have a wonderful program this evening. We'll be having a very special guest with us in a few moments. We have the brethren, brother Seifa Sellassie. He will be returning again. And this time we'll be going into some deeper heavens according to what the brother has said to me. We should be touching upon Enoch and the calendar of Enoch and all of these different levels. I mean, the previous time that the brother was here, I'm sure you could recall, we did touch some heights, and we intend to touch these heights again, even this evening. Of course, you know, this is the Shock of the Hour, very special edition of the Shock of the Hour, both video and audio. And let me just highlight for the moment, I'm sure many of you already know, we still have our very special, our special bundle. It's still available, where you could get our 3 books. Listen to this, our 3 ebooks. Some of you already have 1 or 2 of the books, but you could get the 3 books. This is Ancient and Modern. You could get the Biblical Land of Israel, and of course, The Heavens Declare the Glory, which is our more recent ebook. These 3 books are going for a special right now of only $50. And listen, when you order these 3 ebooks, not only do you get them for that special price of $50, we also give you a whole month's worth of our nightly radio program, which is the Shock of the Hour. So the Shock of the Hour, you get a free month's worth of the Shock of the Hour radio program. That is when you order the 3 books specifically, Ancient and Modern, The True Biblical Land of Israel, and of course the brand new book, The Heavens Declare the Glory. Remember, each book, the cost of each book will be 20 United States, but when you United States dollars, but when you get the 3 of them in the bundle, it's only 50 United States dollars plus, to me, this is a big plus. You get a free month's worth of the Shock of the Hour. So every evening you'll be getting the radio program, the Shock of the Hour, emailed straight to your inbox. Remember, a month's worth of the Shock of the Hour is already $50. So, and you're getting it, I mean, basically free. And then also, if you don't want to do it from that angle, you could do it from this angle, because the same special we have available for our full-length DVD documentaries. Oh yeah, our e-documentaries, Mark. So we don't have to ship nothing to you. You don't have to be looking in your mailbox to see if it comes. All you have to look into is your inbox to see if it's there. Yes, of course, you know our the three full-length DVD documentaries, which is of course the Master of Ceremonies, the Divinity of Haile Selassie.I. Of course, 7, the Divinity of King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, and the Night of the Black Tiger, the Divinity of Marcus Messiah Garvey. These 3 DVD documentaries, so some of you who don't like to read, you could sit and watch. And of course, I know some of you have gotten glimpses of some of these, and you know the standard and the quality. These are not just lectures. This is not a YouTube thing we did or some interview. These are our 3 outstanding DVD full-length documentaries, and if you have not seen them, you definitely need to see them. And of course, it is the same structure, the 3 of them for only 50 United States dollars currency. And listen, when you get the 3 of them, now this is a special deal. When you get the 3 of these documentaries, again, just like the books, you get a whole month. You know how long a month is? You get a whole month of our nightly radio program, which is the Shock of the Hour. Okay. And of course, just before we bring our good brother Seifa Sellassie in the house, of course, you know the time is on us. It is this Sunday. I gotta highlight this, of course, this Sunday. So I don't know how many of you are in the house already. This Sunday, it is the 22nd of November. And of course, we are ready and roaring to go for our dynamic lecture, which will be Bible Decoded. As I said, I mean, you have seen the programs that we've been putting up. We've been doing much more for those who are subscribers to the Shock of the Hour, and we are ready. I have a few more programs that I'll be doing before the 22nd, so we can, sensitize ourselves to this program here, this lecture here on the 22nd day of November. And remember, man, I'm being straight with you. I do this work for those who are genuinely interested in the knowledge. I got some young people in Kenya, South Africa, basically all over the world, as far as Bosnia-Herzegovina, that are serious about the information that Priest Isaac brings through. Yeah. So I'm giving thanks for those people. Some of you haters that just like to talk and we don't want a Bible, or we this and that. But you are right. You're just spectators. Give thanks. I really mean this from my heart. Enough appreciation to all those, especially the younger ones, who put themselves out to gather this information, take it in, research it, and work with it, and even try to apply it to their lives. Enough respect to you. So definitely remember, it is this Sunday, the 22nd, depending on when you may be seeing or hearing this, 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time, the Bible Decoded, how to read the text. This is going to be a dynamic lecture. Remember, this is done through a specific webinar, and all you have to do is to cash app us the finance itself. If you have problems with the cash app, just email us priestisaac27@gmail.com, and when that is done, you will get your key to enter into the lecture hall specifically that evening for that wonderful lecture. Remember, again, the cash app is Atonra 2723. That's ATONRA 2723. Bible Decoded. The 22nd of November, 7 p.m. Eastern Caribbean time sharp. This is going to be a wonderful event. And remember, if you are a member of the Shock of the Hour, so listen. So if you were to take the bundle of the 3 full-length documentaries, the videos, or the 3 books, any which one you take, and you get the Shock of the Hour free for the month, you automatically get your ticket to come into this lecture or any other lecture we are doing while you are on the subscription team of the Shock of the Hour. And that is exactly how we do it here. You see the mystic thereof. So we definitely give thanks to the life giver and the keeper of life, Emperor Haile Selassie.I. So as I said, the brother Seifa Sellassie, we'll be looking to link up with him right about now in a few moments, and definitely we will be carrying this to another level. Don't go anywhere.
If the white man has the idea of a white God, let him worship his God as he desires. We have found a new ideal, because whilst our God has no color, and yet it is human to see everything through one's own spectacles, and since the white people have seen their God through their white spectacles, we have only now started to see our God through our own spectacles. But we believe in the God of Ethiopia, the everlasting God, God of Father, God of Son, God of Holy Ghost, the one God of all ages. That is the God in whom we believe, but we shall worship him through the spectacles of Ethiopia. For 250 years, we have struggled under the burden and rigors of slavery. We were maimed, we were brutalized, we were ravaged in every way. We are men. We have hopes, we have passions, we have feelings, we have desires just like any other race. The cry is raised all over the world, of Canada for the Canadians, of America for the Americans, of England for the English, of France for the French, of Germany for the Germans. Do you think it unreasonable that we, the blacks of the world, should raise the cry of Africa for the Africans? The Negro is the man. We represent the new Negro. His back is not yet against the wall. We do not want his back against the wall, because that would be a peculiar and desperate position. We do not want him there. It is because of this that we are asking for fair compromise. Where the Belgians have control of the Belgian Congo, which they cannot use, they have not the resources to develop, nor the intelligence. The French have more territory than they can develop. There are certain parts of Africa in which they cannot live at all. So it is for you to come together and give us a United States of Africa. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are not going to be a race without a country. God never intended it, and we are not going to abuse God's confidence in us as men. We are men, human beings, capable of the same acts as any other race, possessing under fair circumstances the same intelligence as any other race. Now Africa's been sleeping, not dead, only sleeping. Today Africa is walking around not only on her feet, but on her brains. You can enslave, as was done for 300 years, the bodies of men. You can shackle the hands of men. You can shackle the feet of men. You can imprison the bodies of men, but you cannot shackle or imprison the minds of men. Dive down, black men, and dig. Reach up, black men and women, and pull all nature's knowledge to you. Turn ye around and make a conquest of everything north and south, east and west. And then when you have wrought well, you will have merited God's blessing. You will have become God's chosen people, and naturally you will become leaders of the world. And as you bow down to the white man today, so a lot of races bow down to you and call you a race of masters because of the superiority of your mind and your achievements.
Yes, once again, blessed love. All right, we are here again, definitely. Again, we say welcome to each and everyone that is just coming into the house. Of course, you know, this is the shock of the hour moment here. You're in the tiger's nest. And we have with us once again, brother Seifa Sellassie. Of course, you know, we're here for another round of the cosmic information and the cosmic vibration that we definitely received that previous time. Of course, a lot of people, brother Seifa, would have been hearing of you for the first time. So I know a lot of ones have been looking forward for this second round. So let's just say salam to the brother. Blessed love, my brother. Hope all is well. Give thanks.
Yes, yes, beloved. Blessed love to the eye. Blessed love to all of the eyes fans that we spoke of before.
Of course, nice that you're in the house again.
I'm honored to be here with you again, my brethren, as always.
Well, of course, you know, the previous time we definitely went into some cosmics, you know, and of course, the science of the cross and many different things. I know that previous time we were highlighting that we would be touching the book of Enoch. We didn't really reach that far, but I'm sure that this time around we should at least get a preview of that as it relates to the cosmos. Where are we going tonight, my good brother?
Yes, we're going to reach there. I can't hear you again, though.
You're not hearing me?
Can you hear me?
I'm hearing you.
I can hear you. Yeah, yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. Yeah,
all right.
There was a delay. It was a delay.
So I'm just saying, where are we going? Where are we going tonight? Guide us through.
Yes. Well, I would like to just go back to where we ended.
Right.
So you know, with the book of
the churchical book.
Archbishop Yeshak.
Yes.
I would like to go back, bring back up the book, go back to there so we can continue with a fluency, you know?
Yes, of course.
Into the Shabaka stone where we was hoping to reach last time, but we didn't get there.
Shabaka stone. Well, it's all yours, brother.
Okay, my brother. Well, I'm going to bring up the book again just so that we can, as I say, start where we left off.
Yeah, well, you should be able to share. The sharing mechanism should be on.
Okay, hold on. Let me just.
Should not be a problem at all.
I'll put my share screen on.
And you're saying that eventually we shall be seeing, let me see where you are now. Bam, 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 bam. No, I'm not seeing nothing shared yet.
Okay, okay. Hold on. Let me see what's shared.
But you're saying that eventually, you know, we're going to be touching upon the Shabaka stone as well. So that is something that is very interesting to me, definitely. But let me just see something here. Yep. Yeah, your sharing mechanism should be on, eh? Your sharing mechanism.
Are you not seeing anything now?
No, I'm not seeing anything at all. In fact, it looks like if your video has stopped just a bit though. I'm not seeing anything at all on your end.
It says share is not responding. Let me just click that off.
All right. Well, then of course I'll just tell my my audience just be patient. Yep. Everything here is in order. That you should be in a position that you should be able to share the screen. That's for sure.
Okay.
Okay, it looks like you're there now. All right. Well, yes, you should be. It should be coming up any moment. All right. Well, I see Zoom meeting though. Your screen is shared, but I don't think it's showing you what you want us to see.
Yeah, that's where we ended. Okay.
All right, you're right. We have you good now.
Okay, good. Yes. Well, what's happening here?
And I know everybody can see. Something just jumped in front of it though.
Okay, let me just.
So, I'm monitoring the same thing though. It likes on a bigger screen. The Ethiopian Ethiopian Church.
Yes.
An integral African church.
Integrally African Church. Yes.
Archbishop Yeshak.
Yes. Who was the? He was the head of the Western Hemisphere. You know, when the church came in the 70s, he was the head of the Western Hemisphere, the Archbishop of the Western Hemisphere. But before him, you know, you remember, I know that you know Abraham Springer.
Yeah, man.
The
Springer.
old man, you know, yes, Springer. You know, he's passed now. I don't know if you know.
Definitely, yes, I do know that.
Yes, well, but he actually, he came from Ethiopia with the church in 1951.
Abraham and Isaac, eh?
And he took the church to Trinidad in 1951.
Definitely.
You know, he actually worked for His Majesty to do that, because at the time it wasn't politically, you know, the political situation with Ethiopia and the rest of the world. His Majesty was quite hesitant to send out somebody from the church into the Western Hemisphere. So Abraham Springer, Abraham Springer, he was the one who actually was the first to bring the church from Ethiopia, the first out of Ethiopia. So he's a very important person in the story of Rastafari, because I don't know if you know, he was a Rastafari himself. You know,
yes, I've heard him speak about that. Then
he used to, you know, he did have locks, and you know, and he was a man who was linked to Lumumba and Kwame Nkrumah, because he was in London with those people when they were young students, and they were, you know, getting their education to become leaders of their countries. He was part of that crew, you know, that generation, I should say. You know, so he's very important. So I just want to mention him just to
Abraham Springer.
Abraham Springer, yeah, just
Definitely.
to give him the respect and honor that which is deserved, you know. And then secondly, now Archbishop Yeshak, who we said was Abba Mendefru, he was the leader of the Western Hemisphere. Now he came with His Majesty's instruction, which was, I think, I think he went to Jamaica in 1972. I'm not sure of the actual date that he went to Jamaica, but you know, he was actually positioned in Jamaica. I think it was 72, but it was in 73 that the church came to England. And then after the coup in 76 is when the priests, three priests or three deacons from England here went to Ethiopia and became ordained into the Church of Ethiopia in 1976. Well, that was a different political structure. You know, it was the Dergs. You know, it was the Derg who had taken over there. And so these people who, with a completely different agenda to overthrow all memories of His Majesty, you know, which they've done to the whole of the population of Ethiopia. The young population of Ethiopia have been devastated in their knowledge base of the king and the empress. So this is the climate that these priests who have now evangelized in the Ethiopian church.
Yes.
It is with that communist, anti-imperial agenda.
Yes.
Which is underlying everything. So when the problem that we have in the church, when we come as people of African descent who want to go and now find an African church, when we go in there, we go, oh yeah, you know, great, let's go and find an African church. We go in there, we're in the same old bullshit, excuse my language, but you know, we're in the same old Jesus Christ story. which is there's something wrong with that story. You know, that's personally, that's my opinion. That's enough Rastafari opinion. We go to the church to seek edification, and we're finding that, hold on a minute, we're Rastafari, what? He's not, he's just a king. He's not, he's nobody. He's just a king like any other. That's the, you know, that is the,
yep, of course.
That is their agenda. And that is pervasive, and it's still continuing today. And the young people who are even in Ethiopia, you know, the people who are in there, say the young people, the people who are in their 40s and 50s now, grew up with a totally brainwashed education. You know, they don't know nothing about the king. I mean, even so ridiculous things that you hear about the king. They said that he used to eat people.
Yeah,
even the emperors used to carry people at the weekend and carry them to Deborah's eat and eat them if their eyebrows touch in the middle. And all of them stupid. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, yes. And I'm not talking Rasta. I'm talking about educated people telling you these things.
In Ethiopia.
My empress in Ethiopia, her family were part of His Majesty's government. Her great uncle was one of the governors of Zuwai, the area of Zuwai, you know, and he was a governor. And his children are very educated, you know, they're lawyers and working for the United Nations and all these people. When I was there with them one day, they saw that my eyebrows meet in the middle here. They said, you talk about Haile Selassie, he said he would take you and eat you. They said he would eat you. I said, what do you mean? They said they used to kidnap people and eat them, take them and eat them if their eyebrows meet in the middle. I said, this is an educated lawyer who's telling me this story, not just anybody, you know, an educated lawyer. You know, she's the aunt of my woman, you know.
Imagine that, boy.
Leave it, Rasta. And even, I can tell you, even within the last 6 months, an Eritrean brother told me the same story. I used to go to his restaurant and eat. And the man sat there one night, me and him alone in the restaurant, and I was eating there. And the man told me the same story. Boy, man, me have to get mad with the man. The man can speak 5 languages. The man who told me this speaks 5 languages. Told me that His Majesty used to eat people. I said, I can't believe it. You know, I don't go back there again, brethren. You know, I get so passionate about these things. I get so passionate. I can't go back there, you know.
Of course, anyway, you eat in front of him.
Yes. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
coming with that rubbish.
Right.
You know? So, you know, so the whole thing of the church as Rastafari, there's something wrong. You know, there is a definite something wrong. So my personal quest has been to find out what is wrong. What is it that is missing? Something is wrong. How is it that we are getting this hatred of His Majesty? How are they not knowing that His Majesty is the Messiah, which they're all waiting for? They're waiting for the Messiah. All of them. His Majesty is that person
that they're waiting for.
Who they're waiting for. He's him. I've done the research, my brethren. I'm so adamant that I cannot be wrong.
I'm sure you are correct.
So you know, this is what has fueled my research. This is what has fueled my passion. Because not only to find out what's wrong, because when I went to the church, I was saying, when they said, His Majesty's not God, I was saying, His Majesty's not God. I'm telling you, I personally was saying that because you go in there with love of His Majesty and they turn your head.
Yes.
You know, where you're going to say, no, He's not God. He's this, he's that, he's this, he's that. You know, He's the defender of the faith.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yep.
You know, yeah, He is the defender of the faith. Give thanks, but He's the God Almighty as well. You know, I'm positive of that. There's nobody who could ever. I would die for that. You would have to kill me to stop me saying that.
I hear you. I hear you.
Brethren, I would die for that. I would die for that cause. I tell you, man, for His Majesty. I would do anything for His Majesty. So let's go back to the church now. So, well, that is. I'm just trying to explain my my mentality
Towards it. Yep.
You know, concerning the whole thing, and also with I and our brethren, Rastafari, who are now, you know, which I mentioned before, and I know that it has become, you know, I heard it mentioned with other people who came onto your platform, you know, with them burning the Bible or not fully aware of this, not being fully aware of the intelligence of His Majesty's creation, because His Majesty is the intelligence. The whole thing that His Majesty is the whole intelligence. The Bible is the intelligence manual.
I hear you.
And His Majesty is the intelligence which controls the whole of it. So
yes,
if we're going to say that we are following His Majesty, but we're going to let go of His intelligence, then what are we following? What are we following of His Majesty? If we're going to not follow His Majesty's intelligence, which is the intelligence that controls the world, if we're not going to follow His intelligence, which is encoded in the Bible, which comes from Kemet. Kemet is the Bible. The words, and I know that you've said this to people, you know, I've heard your priest, I've heard you say this, you know, Kemet, what is written on the walls in Kemet, which was transferred into the Septuagint Bible, is the same thing on the walls of Kemet. It's just the interpretation.
Right.
It's the interpretation that is where it's becoming misconstrued.
The word remain one and the same. Sorry.
Yes, Russ.
No, you say the word remain one and the same.
Yes, as His Majesty said. His Majesty said that. You know, and we have influential people in our community saying they don't want to hear nothing about no Bible, they don't want to hear nothing about no quotes, what His Majesty says. You know, they don't want to hear what His Majesty said this, and they don't like it when a man quotes His Majesty talking of religion. You know, Rasta, I've even been to Rasta, I'm going to tell you, man, a couple of weeks back, I said to a sister, come back, we go to a bingy, you know, there's a bingy going. I said, man, you want to come to the bingy? She said, no, I don't want to come to the bingy because they pray, it's like they're praying, talking the Bible too much. They use the Bible. Well, because of there's you know what I mentioned before, there is this intelligence that is infiltrating Rastafari, which is, you know, she looked like a Rasta. She looked like a Rastafari sister. She don't want to hear nothing about the Bible. It's not true. Well, what's not true about the Bible? I don't know. It's just not true. Well, tell me what's not true about the Bible. What's not true? Oh, it's just not true. I know it's not true. Okay. All right. You can't argue with that. She knows it's not true.
No intelligent discussion going on there.
No, you can't argue with that. You know, you just have to allow it, you know.
Yeah,
but really,
it's not true.
But what can we do? You know, and it's very frustrating as Rastafari to try, because His Majesty is the everything. He is everything. He's the intelligence. His whole birth date is everything. He's fit into the calendar. He is an integral part of the machination of the word clock.
And I know you're going to set that out for us now.
Yes, he's an integral part of the machinations of the world clock. And the word clock has certain wheels. It runs on wheels like a clock, like, you know, what they call a horoscope is horology. Horology is clock science. It's not nothing about being afraid and horror. It's horology is the science of machinating wheels together. And that is what His Majesty is an integral part of it. That's why He told us that everything is in the Bible. He said, all of the answers to our problems are in the Bible. So that then is a manual. It's like if a man has a car, a man can drive a car, it doesn't matter how him drive the car. Him carry it to a man to fix it. That man knows, he might know how to fix the engine. Another man might know how to fix a gearbox. Some man can do it all. But then it's still an electrical pulse which runs the whole mechanical scene. So then you need an electrician to run the mechanical scene. And then even if there's an electrician, your car could be worth £1 million or £100,000 or £20,000, whatever. If you don't have a battery which costs 50, 60 pounds, that car is no good. It can't run. So His Majesty is the generator, he's the battery, he's the wiring, he's everything, you know. So that is my take, and this is what I really want I, Rastafari, brethren and sistren, to really understand, because like yourself, brethren, the research that we do is bestowed upon us, even though we do it. You know, it is something that the passion which allows this to happen is something which is, you know, which is bestowed upon us. And there's enough, brethren. We are all part of the body of Rastafari. Some of us are the brain, some of us are the eyes, some of us are the mouth, some of us are the hand, some of us are the foot, some of us are the leg. We are all functioning parts of the body of Rastafari, which in the Western world, they call it Corpus Christi. You know, they call it Corpus Christi, the body of Christ. Well, we are, Rastafari are the body of Christ. So it is our duty to make the people them who do not understand who Rastafari is, who are all our brothers and sisters in Africa. Are we going to go and tell them, burn your Christianity? They're Christian. Why are they Christian? Because Christianity is the origin, the origin of the African spirituality is the Christian concept comes out of it. That is why they embrace it so that's why they embrace it so holy. I don't mean holy, Holy, you know, I mean holy, WHOLLY, holy, you know. They embrace it holy because it is that which is natural to them. So it is a integration. They've integrated Christianity with them. I mean, one thing, brethren, I don't know if you ever heard His Majesty say, we have to thank the missionaries for spreading Christianity amongst those who are in the dark. He said that. His Majesty, I said, weird. What's that? How can His Majesty say that? But then when I try to, because anything His Majesty says, I try to overstand it, try to put it in a context. And when His Majesty said that, I said, why would he say that? The reason he said that is because when I as Rastafari tell the people the truth, researched, factual truth, indisputable, that His Majesty is the one who's been waiting for, that the old world is going to have to bow and know that it is him. The people them already have the doctrine of the Christianity. They just have the wrong conception of who they're looking for. But the person they're looking for is His Majesty, or the African spiritual golden child, because that's, you know, even the Ile Ife from Yoruba, you know, they are expecting a golden child from their oracle. They have an oracle, you know, the Ile Ife in Europe, the Yoruba Ile Ife. They have an oracle. They have the same expectation of the golden child, you know. So the Ethiopian king, who we know in that small place of Ethiopia, is the one. But the whole continent of Ethiopia is connected. You know, if you look into the Ethiopian king list, brethren, you will see a king in 1675 BC and 14 something BC, Abonu the first and Abonu the second. Well, my brethren, Abonu is Ghana. I told you my father comes from there. My father comes from the stool of Abonu. That Abonu is in the Ethiopian king list. Now, how are we going to say, oh, they're not connected to the kings who are sitting on the east there, on the east side? Of course we can't say that, because we know that the people from the south are in the king list, Shabaka. People from Libya are in the king list. So where are we going to start drawing the borders? The people of the Bantu, they are in there.
King list,
They're in the Bible. They're in there. You know, once you can understand the African spiritual wholeness, His Majesty is the one, His Majesty's lineage, who are the people who have kept the record. They say that Africa doesn't have any record. It does. His Majesty has it. We're dealing with it now. We have the record. And all of those kings from as far as Mali, further down even to Gambia, to Sierra Leone, all of those kings who dwelled in the mountains. You know, they come from mountain. The mountain is the focus of a region, and they come from the mountains. The royalty come from the mountains. They're people of the mountains. They're the mountain dwellers who came down from the mountains that have spread across the horizon. That's who the Shem Hor Su are, the people who have followed the horizon, and they traverse across the continent, way up into Mesopotamia, far down into China, as the eye knows, the way down into Japan, everywhere. They follow the horizon, but they come out of Africa, and especially the Igbo people as well, especially the Igbo people, because the Igbo people, I think, that is the core of that, you know, everything has emanated in West Africa. Everything has come out of.
Come out to the Igbo people.
The Igbo people, yeah.
I just wanted to know you still sharing the same picture, right? I just wanted to know. I don't know if you were.
Yeah, because we're talking. I mean.
Oh, okay. You know, I wasn't too sure. Just want to make sure, because sometimes you'll be flipping scripts and not even sure on my end. No, okay. But you're good. You're good.
I've just left there because I wanted to really give an
introduce the subject properly. But you're good.
Yeah, I want to give a broad. You know, I'm trying to give a broad picture, because the African spirit, like, because why I mentioned the Igbo, because their queen mother is called Naga. The queen mother of the Igbo, the woman, you know, the birth of the Igbo nation comes from their great mother. And the great mother is in different names in different regions. In Ethiopia now, she's called Dengel Mariam, Saint Mary, you know, who we know is Eleni, or is from that line of Eleni, right? Which we spoke about before.
Oh, previous time, yes.
You know, we talk about Eleni. So Eleni is the queen mother of 1325 BC. But they go back millions of years, brethren. We're talking millions of years. I can show you, Rasta, I've worked, you know, His Majesty, through the key of His Majesty. I know that I've mentioned it to you when I've written to you. His Majesty opened the key from 1959 when he made the Ethiopian church autocephalous, which is why I've still got this picture up here. There's measurements going back from, you know, measurements which are the Trinity measurements. They're nothing to do with the procession. The processional measurements are very minute. But going back into millions of years is the Trinitarian measurements. Now, from 1951, if you measure back 787 years, because this is the measurement, it's a third of 2,363 years. I think, I don't know if you read the things that I've sent to you, Rasta. Son. I don't know if you've read them, but I sent you these things so that you would have more understanding what I'm talking about, and so that you could actually interact with me, you know.
Got you, man. We are listening. Teach us. Got you still. We are listening.
Yeah. So it's 2,363 years. Well, that divided by 3, that is the great age divided by 11, because you see on the Shabaka stone, let me bring it up. The Shabaka stone has 11. The Shabaka stone has 11. It has 11.
The spiral. Let me make sure you can share here. Okay. Yeah, you should be. Yeah. We've seen your thing.
Right.
And I've seen the Shabaka stone yet, but
Yeah, no, but that's not the one I'm looking for. I just want to actually just bring up the stone itself.
Okay. All right, of course, just letting
right, okay. This is the back view of the stone. This is the back view of the stone. All of this text is the Memphite theology.
Yep.
Memphite theology is in Ebu. It is called in Ebu Hedge, right? Which they call Memphite, which is Greek. It is called the Inebu Hedge philosophy or theology. Yes. And that Inebu Hedge is also called Yebu.
Yebu.
The name is Yebu, and that is the Elephantine. That is the island of Elephantine, where the River Nile has, where they have the monitor to the level of the River Nile. You know, they have a gauge they have a gauge there, and it's where the Blue Nile and the White Nile, they converge into Elephantine Island, and there is where they have the
gauge,
like a barometer, you know.
Okay, right.
The height and the level of the
water level, water table.
Yes, a water table where they would know whether they're going to have a good harvest or a bad harvest, or, you know, is there. So that there, and they call that the breast, you know, because there's two confluences of the Blue Nile and the White Nile that come into there. So that there is called Yebu. The ancient name of it is called Inebu Hedge, or it's called Yebu. Now the Yebu people come from Nigeria, my brethren.
Nigeria.
Yebu, they come from South Central Nigeria. Now that island is called Yebu, and the Yebu people come from South Central Nigeria.
Yep.
And Yebu is the Jebusites. Now, when Abraham, they said in the Bible, he went to see Melchizedek. They were the Jebusites. When King David supposedly overthrew the Jebusites in Jerusalem, they are the Yebu. They are Nigerian people, my brethren. May I tell you that?
I hear you.
100%.
So Jebusites are the Jebusites?
Yes, because don't forget the Jebu, the J is a Y.
Yep.
Yes.
Interesting.
They're the same people, brethren. So those people are in Kemet.
So the people should know anytime you're reading the Bible and you're reading of the Jebusites, is Nigerian origin people you're talking about.
Yes, most definitely. And the people in Mesopotamia, are the same people, brethren. And they are Jebusites, and they're
all the way Nigeria.
They're from Nigeria, and they're also from Nigeria. They're also from Uganda, the Banda people.
Well, yes, for sure.
Okay, those people are there too. So, and they are the kings, and they were called the NC, the NC.
NC, true. Yes,
they were the NCs.
Enough respect.
And the king and the NC was married to Inanna, the Queen of Heaven.
Inanna.
You know. So this is the spiritual marriage between the monarchs.
The Inanna is Ugandan too?
Pardon?
Inanna is Ugandan.
Inanna is Nigerian.
Nigerian, okay, all right.
Yeah, Inanna is Nigerian. Inanna is Nigerian. And even Dumuzi, you've heard of Dumuzi, the shepherd Dumuzi? The shepherd Dumuzi is Imhotep. The shepherd Dumuzi is the same Imhotep in a different region. You know, he's not a person, you know, he's a spiritual entity. You know, he's his spirit. He was a spirit he was an entity, he was a man in Kemet, and his power and his influence was the power,
Imhotep.
Dumuzi, in Mesopotamia.
I get you. Yep.
In the Sumerian culture. Now, the Europeans tell us that the Sumerians, they don't know where they come from. They don't know where the Sumerians come from. They don't know, because of the Jews, these European Jews are trying to claim descent from these people. Well, the European descent comes from the Amorites. Those are the people who overthrew the African people there. You know, in about 21
in Sumer.
African dynasty was from about 2350 to 2150 approximately.
In Babylon you're talking, or
in Babylon? Yes, but there's two Babylons, not Babylon of the Bible. Babylon of the Bible is 800 BC. True. Babylon now, we're talking the first Babylon, which is 2000 prior 2150 BC. You know, so this is what we have to understand. We have to be able to talk in timelines. We have to really get to understand timelines, when all these things happen. So how we can understand timelines is where we understand the precession of the equinoxes, when those places come into time. You know, when the like the 1321 who we spoke about with Queen Helena.
Yep, very deep stuff.
Well, when we talk about those are the periods, those are the stations. You see, like these are the stations throughout the world. I call them water stations, right? Because these are the water stations. This is the idea of Noah and all of these things, the flood and all these things. It's not a flood. It's not flooding and overtaking the world. It's not saying that didn't happen, because that did happen way back after the glaciers melted. There was a flood.
Yep.
But that was way back before 10,000 BC, you know, going back 11 to 12,000 BC that occurred. So all of these things, but so the flood waters, though, the water stations go back beyond millions of years, you know, because this is a perpetual, we're living in it's a perpetual cycle. It repeats and repeats and repeats and repeats. You know, so I was going to, which we didn't get to. I've gone back, my brethren, 64 million years. His Majesty, I've brought His Majesty down 64 million years, the age of the dinosaurs, brethren. And that's where I stopped. You understand me, brethren? That's where I stopped. Did not say I couldn't go back into infinity, but I thought to myself, well, 64 million years, the age of the dinosaurs. Is that not good enough, brethren?
Yes, my lord.
You know what I mean? Is that not a great? That's enough place to stop, you know.
But I don't think nobody else nearly come as close as that.
Well, Rasta, I can show you, and everything I'm talking about is in my book. The mathematics, everything.
I hear.
So anybody who wants to challenge what I've got to say can do the maths themselves. If my maths is wrong, like I said to you before, the maths is either right or it's wrong. Okay. So let's go back to the station. So all of the world, right, know about these things. The kings of the world know about the water stations. The 1321 BC, and I remember we went back to 2700, the time of Imhotep, who I just told you is the same Dumuzi. You know, so these are water stations, the Sothic water stations, or the Sirius water stations. That's what I call them. So these ones now, it didn't only happen in Egypt. Like all of the cultures know of it because it was a known science. So all the different cultures, whether they're, I'm not going to say Greek because they would be before the Greeks. They were the Ionians.
Yes.
People, the Ionians were the people who were. The Ionians were a people who were in Southern Europe, but they were not white people. Like, we got to get this thing out of our head as well, you know, this color thing, because it's not all of the people, even down to Britain. A couple of years back, they found a brother in a bog. They called him Cheddar Man. They found him in the Cheddar Gorge or something. They called him Cheddar Man. Well, when they recreated him through the modern science, it was a black man. He was a brown-skinned black man with the hair like a Aborigine. You know, the Aborigines don't have tight curly hair. They have kind of straight hair.
Yeah.
So he's one of them. The people in this country were in uproar, brethren. They were in uproar. Oh, you know what I mean? Because they're seeing that these are their ancestors, black people. You know what I mean? These racist people who we live amongst here. You know, there was uproar, brethren. You know, with, we ain't having it. like the Meghan, you know, the Meghan married to the boy, their prince. You know, they run her out the country, Rasta. They don't. This is a racist country. This is a racist world we live in. You know. So anyway, let's not get divert off of the subject. Time.
Still the subject.
Yeah. But the period of time, which we're talking about 1321, which came down from Queen Helene, well, brethren, that is the same time of Moses. That is the same time of Akhenaten and Queen Nefertiti. That is the same time of the different cultures. Now, so what they're all doing, they're tying themselves to that culture. Now, these people who are calling themselves the children of Israel, you know, Jacob and blah, 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 they have tied themselves to that pole, the 1321 BC pole. You know, the Sothic conjunct, which we brought up, the finding of the true cross. They're all tying themselves to that. So after then now, what do we have? We have the period of judges of Israel. So there's now 300 years. It says they were period of judges, 300 years. Well, take 300 years from 1321, you end up at 1021 BC. Yeah, take 300 years from 1321 BC, you end up at 1021 BC. The millennium, right? Now, this is when they say that King David and blah, blah, blah was around. Well, brethren, they wasn't, right? I'm telling you who King David was. King David is Nimrod. You see Nimrod, who went to all the nations and built the nations, Nimrod? He's in the Ethiopian king list, 3,776, I think he is, right? In the Ethiopian king list. That is who King David is. And his son is Negus Solomon Tegui. Okay? You know, remember we spoke about Solomon Tegui?
Yeah, definitely.
And you said to me, is that King Solomon? I said, yes. Because he is the descendant of King David, who was just a couple years, 100 years before it. Yeah?
So but in the biblical narrative, Nimrod is a distinct character from David, even by years. How you come by that?
Yes, because Rasta, what we're dealing with is the births through the stations. You see, it's not birth through like me and you, like, you know, it's birth through the stations. Now, Queen Makeda is like Queen Helena, is the mother of Zagdur, which we saw in the Ethiopian kings, which we dealt with before. Queen Makeda is the mother of Menelik I.
Yeah.
Right? But we know from the Kebra Nagas that whatever happened between in this myth, this power was taken back to Ethiopia. You know, it was given to King Solomon supposedly around 1000, and it was taken back to Ethiopia. That's the story of Menelik taking back the Ark of the Covenant to there. So now, okay, well, how does this work? So let's think about the timing. We've got 1020, 300 years from 1321. We've got 1020, 1021. Now they say that David lived 40 years, and they say that Solomon lived 40 years.
Right? Reign for 40 years.
Pardon? Reign,
yeah.
their reigns, not they live, sorry, their reigns. They reign for 40 years, both of them. So that is going to drop us down to 10 to 940, isn't it? You know, to drop 80 years off of there. It's going to drop us down to 940, right? Well, they say that Solomon's temple was 977, I think they say it was. You know, so now we're going to have to then, if that's 977, well, then there's somehow, where's the 80 years? It doesn't work. So was King Solomon and King David 140 years? You know, did they exist for 140 years together? You know, it doesn't add up, right? So let's go back to the mathematics now, which I was telling you. The 787, the third of the 2,363 years. The third is the 787. If you go back now, that 787 from His Majesty's 1959, it drops right into the 25th year of no, sorry, the third. So over the 25th or the 30th, I can't remember.
So give me that again. 787.
787 from 1959. It drops down to 12. It drops right down into Zagdur's reign. The end of Zagdur's reign. Zagwe, Lalibela. Sorry,
Lalibela, yes.
Lalibela. It drops right down into Lalibela's reign. From, if you measure 787 from Lalibela's reign, it takes you to roughly 400. Or if you go back, then you go to 1100, and it takes you 6 steps. You go back 6 steps, it takes you straight to the Sothic conjunct of 2700. You know, where we spoke about the time of Imhotep, right? I think it drops down to 2769. I think that's the precise time. You know, I think it drops down to 2007. Now, if you add another 787, so that 6 goes back. That's 6 linear 787s, right? 787 from 1959, linear to 12 odd, linear to 4 odd, linear to it would be probably from 4. It will come up into 3 odd, linear up into 1,000. Linear up into 1700, linear up into 27. You know, I'm just talking about the linear.
Yes.
The linear, not cyclical, linear line.
And just to be clear for the audience too, you use the 1959 date in relationship to the church
becoming autocephalous.
Right.
Becoming with its own head. Now, His Majesty. Now, why I left the book up before is because in that book, Archbishop Yeshak, he said, in his opinion, I think he's on page 30, in his opinion, that is the most important thing, or the most important accomplishment of His Majesty's reign. That is his
opinion.
That is his take on it. You know, that is opinion, right? Now, I want to give you His Majesty's opinion.
I hear you.
Right? Because I've got it here. Let me just show you His Majesty's opinion. His Majesty's opinion is.
Yes, so we're here with Brother Seifa Sellassie, and of course we are.
I'm just going to put this one down.
Yes, going to some strong mathematics here, some cosmic mathematics, as he's looking for a speech here. Okay, looks like we have it here. Yes, my brother.
This is His Majesty's opinion on it. I just want to make this bigger. I don't know if I can I? Can I make this bigger? I don't know if I can, if I'm sure. I'm not sure.
Highlighting the Shabaka stone.
Oh, I've lost it. What's happened there?
Serious calendar.
Okay. We can make this bigger. Oh, it doesn't look like that. Okay. Yes. Okay. So His Majesty said on the matter. I can't. I've gone too big. I can't see it. Hold on.
Because of course, again, as I said, the audience is very vast to it. And I know there are ones that are still will be trying to balance out because of course your theories is quite unique, and I know how it is when you have a unique theory, you know what I mean? So it's not something people have played with before. So it's just brand new. So
Yes.
trying to balance
What
out
I'm gonna do,
the
Russ, I'm gonna
science,
go.
especially as it relates to the Nimrod and the David. Go ahead.
I'm gonna make this. I'm going to make this full screen because I'm not sure. I don't know what's going to happen if I make it full screen, whether you'll be able to see me because it's too small. I can't actually read it.
It's all right. You could just read it. Read it.
But what His Majesty said.
Go ahead, man. Just go through. I can see it. I don't know if you can see it. I can kind of see it.
Says, look, work should progress like the branches of a, this is Psalm 1, right? Work should progress like the branches of a tree along a river bank, and among the numerous foundations His Majesty, laid for Ethiopia's overall development, attaining an autocephalous status for the Ethiopian church is one of the most important. Brethren, that's His Majesty's intelligence saying that. It's not me saying that. It's not Archbishop Yeshak saying that, even though Archbishop Yeshak said in his opinion, that is one of the most important things that His Majesty's achievements. His Majesty has said it himself. His Majesty is saying it to us himself. I don't know if you know this, Rasta. I've just found this, what I'm reading from is called The Proverbs of Haile Selassie. Have you heard of it?
The Proverbs, that's a new book, or?
Well, because I was trying to find, when I was wanting to do this talk with you, I was trying to find His Majesty's speeches. But this is where an intelligence of our brethren, I don't know who he is, but he's a great intelligence of Rastafari. He has pulled this together where it's, as you can see, there's chapter 1, he's got chapter 2, with different subjects, and you can find when you're looking for something that His Majesty has said, they are here in the Proverbs of Haile Selassie. It is on. You can't download it. It's ISSW, right? It's a platform, and you can only read it. It's a read-only thing. You can't download it, but it's there. Now, whoever the brethren is who done this, God bless him. I salute him. His Majesty, he's done a great work for His Majesty in producing this book. Beautiful piece of work, really and truly. And I would advise I'll give you the link, but maybe I can put the link below the thing for Rastafari, for our brethren, because it's a wonderful piece of work. There's so much in here. You can just quickly find, when you're looking to use His Majesty's strength, you can quickly find his opinions.
That thing on the side, you could X out the idea.
No, that's
usually good. There's a little X.
I'm gonna bring that down now anyway.
Okay, all right.
I'm gonna bring it down because that's good enough.
I kind of see this here and there, but I mean,
yes,
yeah, that looks better to me.
Yes. But Russ, I just wanted to bring it up because
no, very clear point that you see the king opinion on the whole situation too.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not just Brother Yeshak saying so, or Bishop Yeshak, but the king saying so now for himself.
Yes. So this is so now and so then as Rastafari, how could we have the audacity to question His Majesty's intelligence? Really, I mean, that is audacious. We can't put ourselves in the category of His Majesty. His Majesty is the Almighty. We are not. We are just mortal men. We are not His Majesty. We are mortal men. His Majesty is the divine, living God. How can we question that man? We cannot. That's my opinion. That's my take on it. And this is my backative. This is what I back myself up with. This is where I get the strength to talk like this, is because I use His Majesty's, I follow His Majesty, I've tried to overstand. Everything is made like when I said to you about the missionaries. Why would he say that? Why would he say the missionaries done a great job who enslaved African people? You know, they use their religion to come and enslave African people. But what it has done, it has spread the gospel, it has spread the good news. The good news is we know who the king is. We know who they're expecting. We know who he is. Now we can prove it. We can prove it. You know? And that is our job, brethren. Like the eyes job is a wonderful work. And I love I saw the work you did with the children the other day, brethren. My granddaughter will be on your class next week. I'm telling you that, my brethren. You know, wonderful.
Give thanks to that, my Lord.
Yes, my king. You know, and as well, you know, I call you my priest king. You know, I don't just call you king.
I know this. I know this.
You are Melchizedek, brethren.
Oh my, take it easy. I notice you refer to me as that in the males priest king. I made special note of that. Because you are a disciple of priest king Emmanuel Charles Edwards, brethren. Where did he get his knowledge from? He got his knowledge from the Bible. He didn't just get his knowledge from anywhere. Priest Emmanuel Charles got his knowledge from the Bible. And the elders of Rastafari did not have the access to the knowledge which we have access to today. The only thing they had was the Bible, brethren. And they're so knowledgeable. Imagine that, eh?
Especially Priest King Emmanuel Charles. Especially Priest King Emmanuel Charles. Especially. And why do I say that? Because he has taught your order. You are an order. You're not just you are a biblical order. An order works from the science of the Bible. And he has taught you that the beginning of the year is February the 7th. For him to know that, he's up there.
I hear you.
He's up there.
Tell me about it.
you know, so, and I'm not, I don't belong to your order. I belong to the churchical order.
Yes, but do you know the mathematics?
We are the same order. But you are the churchical order of the West, and I belong to the churchical order of the East. It's the same order. And also, when we were talking about Mesopotamia.
Well, it's mystical you say that, because you did say Archbishop Yeshak was the head of the West. I found that very interesting, but I just didn't say nothing. But now that you bring that up.
Yes, because he was the head proselytizer. He was the head mouthpiece for His Majesty.
Right.
To the West.
Archbishop Yeshak. Remember Yeshak is Isaac.
Yeah, Isaac. Yeah, he was sent by His Majesty. So he because it is the same order, brethren. There's only one order,
One order, man. One order.
There's one order. Even though, it's like I heard you a little while ago talking about the Nyabingi, where they try and make a distinction between the Nyabingi and the Bobo Nyabingi. Yeah. Well, there's no difference, brethren. We're all beating the drum.
Yes, my Lord.
That is the Nyabingi. And in the Ethiopian church, they are beating the drum too. And look at this. The Ethiopian drum is called a kabera. Kabera. Right? As in the Kabbalah. You know the Kabbalah and the Kabira. Right? And the Kabira is the funde and the kete in one. It is the funde and the kete in one.
But the Ethiopians hit a big bass to a big kind of bass, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, and then with the kete at the other end.
Yes, I know that.
They play the kete at the other end, Rasta. Is one drum. That we're in the orders we have two drums. We have the funde and we have the kete.
Yes, and the bass, right. Interesting.
Right. Well, the kabera incorporates both, you know, and they're beating the drum. And when they say, you know, when you know about the Ethiopian church, that is why we can't condemn the Ethiopian church if we don't go in it and learn about it, right? But when you're in the church, they'll keep why they beat the drum and why they play the sistrum. You know, the sistrum, you see where they, well, what that is, my brethren.
Like the shaker.
Yeah, but it's not, they don't shake it. It's the second hand of the clock.
Second hand of the clock.
It's the second hand of the clock, right? And the stick they use, when you see them use the stick and they go forward and they go back and they are moving the motion of the wheel of the clock.
The prayer stick.
That is with the stick and the sistrum. They are moving with the motion of the clock. They are going forwards. They are going backwards. They are going side to side. You know?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, man. Definitely.
You know, it is the clock science, brethren. You know, even if they're not aware of it. But through I, we are searching out these things. We're able to study these things. We're able to put our own, because personally, I'm an engineer. You know, from when I was a youth, I was an engineer. You know, I went to school and learned to be an engineer. You know, so I've got a mechanical mind. So I can see when I can see the clock work, I can actually vision the clock working, the world clock. I can actually vision it. You know, so that knowledge which I have of being a mechanical type person. You know, as I said, we all have different attributes,
skills
to bring to the king. My attribute is I've got a mechanical mind. I can see the mechanical clock working. That's why I've been able to work out the Shabaka stone.
Well, even as you mentioned that, and you mentioned the clock, and earlier you said the emperor is the clock. But for those who were studying a while ago, when you had up the Shabaka stone.
Yeah, but you know what I didn't show you?
No, but before you run, don't move this yet, you know, for anyone who noticed the cross that you have here, the extension of the rays are very similar. In fact, they're the same amount, if I'm not mistaken, about 10, as what would appear to be the rays coming off of the Shabaka stone. The Shabaka stone has the lines going out.
Yeah, yeah.
But what you had up a moment ago, the outline looked very similar to this.
That was 10. That was this is 10, and that
was 11.
No, that was
10 too.
Yeah, but I'm going to show you the 11.
Okay, right. Here you go.
Hold on. Let me see the
I have
other
a few pictures of the Shabaka store, right?
Hang on, no, this is the 10. That's 10. You see, one,
that's
2, 3,
10.
4,
Yeah,
5.
yes. I have a few pictures. I have this picture too, eh? A few pictures.
Yeah, but you know the other one. You know the actual stone itself. That's what I'm trying to... Right, hold on.
I have one close by, but let me make you do your thing.
I think
you do your thing. So,
I've
also go ahead.
I've just clicked it. It should come up. Or is that the same one? Hang on.
And just letting the audience know as well, the Shabaka stone is considered to be one of the theology of the creation of the world as well.
Yes.
The Memphite theology.
Yeah, which
my Lord said earlier.
Memphite theology, which is Greek, but named for Memphis. But it is called Inebu Hedge, which is like Lidge. You know Lidge Tafari? Lidge?
Yes, Lidge.
Hedge. You know, it's spelled the same way. H-E-D-J, hedge.
Yes,
you know, I mean, our language of speech, you know, we don't know how it should sound, you know what I mean? But it's Inebu Hedge.
And Inebu Hedge sounds close to Inuma Alish, which is another creational phrase there.
Okay, well that Inebu Hedge was, let me...
Inuma Elish.
I think I've actually lost the image of the stone. I think, let me see if I've got it here. What done with the image of the stone?
Isn't the Inuma Elish Sumerian? Isn't that where it's from? The Inuma Elish?
I don't, yes. Oh, yes. I know, Enuma Lish. Yes.
It sounds close to
I know what you're saying there. Yes.
Leech and everything. Everything sounds very similar, and it all has to do with creation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you could see the oneness in the language, you know.
Yeah, well, this is the thing as well, Russ, because they say, oh, with all these, with Western world, they say, oh, with their language, and they're saying, oh, this is a Hamitic language, this is a Semitic language, this is that, and blah, blah, blah. Well, Rasta, I grew up with African people, right? When me and my sisters, when we were kids, we used to pretend we could speak African. We would sit down to speak to one another, making African sounds, right? But we used to do that. We're not saying anything because we couldn't speak the language, but because we had African family, we actually used to mimic what we heard. So where we say A-E-I-O-U, we're English, we learn to speak English, A-E-I-O-U. An African doesn't say A-E-I-O-U, it says A-E-O-U. Right?
Yeah, Kiswahili. And yeah.
You're using the same there because language all comes from the same root. Right? So we say A-E-O-U. So so if we now start using those words, or using the phonetic sounds, sounds, we then see, like, when you're looking at the people in Sumeria and they're saying, no, they don't know where they come from. Who are you telling that you don't know where they come from when we know the sounds? And then we do put the sounds to the words and we know we're talking African language. We're not fools. They think we're fools, but we're not fools. I mean, when I'll give you a great example. I was driving along with my dad one day, and I'd been reading about the grandson of Jacob, Edom. The grandchild of Jacob is Edom, right? So so my dad, we were speaking and we were talking about Egypt having an African antecedents, right? And I said to me, Dad, what does Edomi mean? Right? That's just saying Edomi in an African. I'm just using African phonetics. I said, what does Edomi mean? And he said, and he thought about it. He said, it means the heart. Now I don't know what language because my dad could speak many languages. He could speak Ga, he could speak Twi, he could speak Fanti, he could speak English. He could, he spoke many languages, my dad. So I said, but he said to me, it's the heart. I said, oh, he said, where did you get that word? I said, it's Edom. I just used African phonetics on Edom. What we read is Edom in the Bible. He said to me, more strength to your elbow. More strength, he said to me, wow, more strength to your elbow, because I was always searching for this African roots of everything. You understand me, Bridget?
I got you.
So I'm just showing you that Edomi is Edom in an African dialect or an African phonetics, right? So with that kind of background that I have, when I go and look at these things and look at these people in Mesopotamia, I can see that they're African. And not only that, even Ezekiel tells you that they are, right? Because there's a thing called a theophoric element. Now, a theophoric element is the letters put into a word, right, which give a chosenness of God, which denotes the chosenness of God, right? If you read in Ezekiel chapter 8, verse, I think it's 11, it says, the ancients of Israel, Ja'azaniah, J-A, Azania with an H on the end. It is Azania surrounded with Jah. The word Jah is surrounded the word for Azania. So there we are.
Don't forget, dogging.
So then when we see the Muzi, right? The Muzi, if you look for the word Muzi in African names now, you will find it in South Africa, right? And Muzi is a deeper African version of Mose. Mose. You know, Moses.
Moshe.
Moses, Musa. You know, the Muzi. You understand me, Bridget?
Masai,
So
Masai.
the root words don't change.
The Messiah.
The root of a word does not change.
Allah Masai.
Allah Masai. The Messiah. Well, I don't even want to go into that. I can tell you about the Messiah. I've got another story.
Wow. No, but that's deep stuff, you know. And Bridget, time we reasoning so much, yeah? Our time moving on us.
Yeah, okay. Well, let me just. So what I wanted to say anyway, we know
Don't bust almost an hour and a half here, but it's just good reasoning though.
Oh, well, Bridget, I'm trying. Let me just try and get into it quick now. Then let me just go into straight. Let me go straight.
A lot of people they need that grassroots reasoning to it. Yeah. Believe me, a lot of ones even from Africa will be tuning in and listening in. A lot of young ones seeking a level of understanding of Rastafari. So these angles are good too, you know, very good too.
But let me just go back now to.
Of course, go ahead. We have time.
Let me just go back to the 1321 because I know we've been talking all around the world and we haven't got there because the Greeks are called, what are they called? Hellenes. The Hellenic culture. Well, where did they get Helen from? From Eleni, right? The Queen, Saint Mary, the Roman Catholic Saint Mary's mother is called Anne, Saint Anna, or is the same Eleni. So these African gods, just right back, just to 1325 BC, are the gods of Western religion. They are the gods of Western religion. The Queen Mother, Saint Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ, the Roman Jesus Christ, Mary's mother is named Anna. Her name's Anna, or her name is Helen. She's got different names. She's called Saint Anne. In the Western Church, she's called Saint Anne, right? She's the mother of the Virgin Mary. Well, Rasta, me I tell you, man, they're dealing with African gods. That's their gods, right? That is their gods. And the Hellenes, the Greeks, the Hellenes, the Hellene culture, which is the mother culture to the Romans, comes from 1325 BC. It doesn't go back further, right? It doesn't go back further. It stays there. But can we say, did they? Now, what about the Mycenaeans?
That's a long time still, though.
Yeah, but what about the Mycenaeans? The Mycenaean people. They are the descendant of also. They are the fathers of the Hellenes. The Mycenaean, which they blew. The Mycenaean civilization got kind of blown up around 1600. An island blew up.
That's the volcano thing.
Santorini, Santorini, which was their basis of their religion, not their religion, basis of their culture and their civilization.
What was that? That was it. That was in the volcano.
Yeah, it was a volcano. It blew up out of the sea. You remember? About 1600. It's called Santorini.
Okay.
It blew up out. It blew up out of the sea, and they say that caused the decline of the actual Kemite culture. That actual event, because all the skies become dark and the sun didn't shine, and because the volcano caused the effects of the volcano.
That's in that's a volcano. That's not in the Aegean Sea.
Yes, in the Aegean. I think it's in the Mediterranean, huh?
Kakatora or something like that. The
name of it is called Santorini.
I think it's Kakatora. That was What year you gave it there? 16 something?
Yes, I think it was 1625.
Okay.
Now there was a book called the one that the.
But he left the darkness was left across the earth like for at least a century.
I think so, yeah. Okay, and it kind of wiped out. It kind of wiped out the.
Yeah, I have a book here talking about that still too, man.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead.
But the Mycenaean, it was the Mycenaean civilization. That was the European, like Southern European thing. And now their gods were, again, because there's a book, I don't have it now because somebody stole it from me, but I had a book called The Wonderful Ethiopians of the Kushite Empire by Drusilla Dundee. Right now, they didn't rate this one because she hadn't given it reference and hadn't actually done it through, you know, had a Western study. They have to do it right in a certain discipline. She hadn't written in that discipline, but she had read her daddy's book. She was a Garveyite, you know. She was a Garveyite from Marcus Garvey's time, and she wrote the book, The Wonderful Ethiopians of the Kushite Empire. And she was then saying how these people were the gods, like you know, she said about Hermes. You know, Hermes is Himotep, you know, and she was in that book there. She wrote how these people actually gained all their knowledge. Their gods, the Greek gods, were the Ethiopian people. The Ethiopian monarchs were the Mycenaean gods, you know, and the Mycenaeans were the forebears to the Hellenes. And the Hellenes are the forebears to the Romans. So that's as far as they go. Now, also, it makes me want to clear up a thing here where they say, oh, the Greeks give Ethiopia its name. No. You'll find in the Ethiopian king list, I think it's 1930, a king named Ethiopis. There's a king named Ethiopis. 1930 BC.
BC.
You know?
Interesting.
So there's no way that the Greeks gave Ethiopia
right.
His name. You know, impossible, because there's a king named Ethiopis back there. And also Ethiopia is not only spelled, when I spell in my book, when my book's finished, it'll soon be done, I spell Ethiopia A-E. There's a sign of an A, a capital A and an E together. It's a mathematical sign, right? And I use that. I don't use E for Ethiopia. I use A-E because A-E is 1 and 5, right?
1, 5, yeah.
And it's pronounced I, like your eye.
Yeah.
You know? The pronunciation of those two numbers together,
Ethiopia.
digits together, is I. So we call it Ethiopia, you know. So, and as it's spelled with the I, you know, you can see like
I.
Yeah, and when they've spelt it back in 1930 BC, it's spelt with the I. It's spelt with an I. Ethiopus. You know, so it's not. You know, we have to get to understand the real root of this African royalty, because it pervades the whole of mankind. And it's only the Western teaching that they've given our children and us as well. You know, what we're getting to learn is rubbish. You know, once we get to be able to understand history in its timelines, and when we're able to put together the things. So what I've actually done, Bridge, you know, I've done a comparative historical framework. You know, like I've said to you, like 1320. The 1320 Hellene, the finding of the true cross, is also the time of Akhenaten and Nefertiti.
Yep.
Right? It is also the time of Moses going in with the children of Israel. It is that junction in time, you know. And then the next junction in time is 2700, and the next one prior to that is 4200. You know. So and then it comes down to 139, and it goes up to 1599 AD. You know, 1599 just before the 1600s, when Queen Elizabeth I came to not Queen Elizabeth I, King James I, he came to the throne in 1601. Became the King of England. 1601. He was already in Scotland.
So that's aligning with 1599.
He was from 1599, 2 years within 1599, and that 2 years, Bridget, is over. You see the problem we spoke about over the year 0 to 1, not the problem, but when we spoke about 0 to 1, those 2 years, that's why they're always 2 years out. Because, and like you said, Russ, when you spoke about it today, those two years actually can be, well, they are 144 years, because we're talking about 72 degrees, 72 years per degree, right? So that is 144 years. What we call exponential. You know, that one is an that two is exponentially 144 years, which is why they talk about the 144,000 children of Israel, 12 times 12. You know? So, Russ, what can I go to now? Let me try and get. I think you know, that's why I wanted to stay with the 1325 and priest Yeshak. You know, I think we've covered that. So where do I want to go now? I want to go to
1325, man. Them is pure Akhenaten, Tutankhamun time.
Yeah, well, because Tutankhamun is that time, right? That is his time, and he came, and he's the child of Akhenaten and Nefertiti. Now, Akhenaten, they say he was the one who brought in the worship of the sun, right? He brought in all the sun theology. Well, the sun theology was there from Marnin. He's only that he brought it in because
monotheism.
He brought it in then because the Hyksos had been into Kemet from 1750 or 1730. So from the Hyksos time down to Akhenaten is 430 years. Now we're coming back now to we're talking now about Ezekiel. You know, he talks about 39 years. He does 300, he lays on his side 390 years for the iniquity of Israel. And then he turns and lays on his other side 40 years for the iniquity of Judah. That together, Brethren, is 430 years.
30 years, right. Yep.
Right. Now that 430 years appears at the beginning and end of a cycle, Brethren. Right? So if we go back now 430 years, right? So Abraham, who they're talking about, this Abraham in the Bible, this is this brother from Mesopotamia, right? He now he moved out. You've heard about the 400 years of Abraham, right? You know, they talk about in Genesis, they say, oh, you'll be in slavery for 400 years.
Definitely.
Abraham's descendants will be in slavery for 400 years, right?
Captivity in ships.
That is because the last dynasty of Ur, the last African dynasty of Mesopotamia, finished in 2150, right? 400 years from then is 1750. That is exactly the date of Abraham, right? That's the 400 years, right? Coming from the northern calculations, because there's two calculations, brethren. There's a northern calculation of Israel and there's a southern calculation of Israel, right? The southern calculation of Israel, when I say the calculation, the wheel of the southern, where you talk about the biblical land of Israel, the true biblical land of Israel, right? That's why they've got their own clock. They've got this is the 2363, right? Now the 363 is also the 2163, because I don't know if you read it, Rasta, but I sent you the mathematics of how you get the 10, this 10, which is up here, how it is the 10 age, you know, the age of 10. And how that is done, because we know the great age is 26,000 years, right? Well, it actually, if we go 11, because the other, you know, I haven't got it here, but you've got it. The actual stone of the stone of the opposite side of this picture here. This image, it's got 11 ribs. You know, it's got 11 arms, right? Well, 11 into 26,000 is 2,000. 2,000. No, it doesn't work like that. What 11's into that is 25,993, right? 11. Yes, that's the stone, right? Yes, well done, my priest king.
Yeah, that's the real stone, yeah.
That's the stone, right? Yeah. So that there is 25,993 years. 11 times, you know, 11 times into 26,000 is 25,993. It leaves 7 years to the 26,000, you know?
Mhm.
So what you do from there, from that 25,993, you take off 4,363. The reason you take off 4,363 is because Imhotep built the Saqqara complex, the first pyramid in Egypt, the first step pyramid, right? Around that is a wall. That wall is encoded sidereal years and solar years. And the whole, and it's got panels all around it. And there's 4,363. Now, why are there 463? Because you see, if we go into the 360 degree sphere and we divide it by 12, we've got 30 degrees, haven't we, for each house of the zodiac. Should I bring one up?
Yeah, you can do that.
I'll bring a zodiac up. So we're
So let's stop share. You would have to share again.
okay. Okay, I'll bring up a shot.
You'd have to share yours again. Yes, as we definitely give thanks. Yes, we definitely are coming in on the last few minutes here.
Have we run out of time, Bridget?
Yeah, we gone on. We look like we almost looking the clock. We definitely passed 1.5.
Oh dear.
But you don't know, more time still be there, man. But a lot has been still covered, you know, because sometimes I know you might want to hit the big numbers, but sometimes the little, you know, I mean, explanation is good, eh?
Well, I think it's good that we get a good understanding. You know, Bridget. I think it's good that we get a good understanding. Okay. You see the zodiac now.
Right.
You see the zodiac.
And all of this is in there. This is your book, eh?
Yeah.
Right. Just letting the audience understand. The book is not out as yet, eh?
No, it's not out yet. But you see each. This is
going to be a heavy publication. Eh? I'm telling you.
Yeah, this is 12. This is 12 houses in the 360, right?
This book like it might go down in history, in Rastafari history. Well, go ahead. Yeah.
They're all showing to be even. You see how they're all evenly spaced.
Definitely.
Right? But you know that not every constellation is the same size.
Oh, perfect.
So now the biggest constellation is the constellation of the Lion. You know, in length, in width. You know, it's very, you know, so it won't fit in one of those houses.
The lion, huh?
The lion, you know, Leo.
Yeah.
It won't fit in one of those houses because it's wider than the house. You know, than what is allocated.
I get that.
So what they do, what has happened, they've brought the lion and the crab, which is Ptah and Atum, they've brought them together. And they are 4,363 years together. Because if you was to do it 4,000, you know, you bring those together because of the size of Orion, Atum, you know, the lion.
Yeah.
It's 4,363 years over the two houses, over Ptah and Leo, over Cancer and Leo, right? So that 4,363, if you take it from 25,993, it comes to 21,630. You get 2,163 years for one age of 10, of a 10 sphere. You know, because this is a 12 sphere, right? But the one before it, the Shabaka is 11, and on the reverse side it's 10. You know what we saw. You know what we saw with all with the hieroglyphs on it. That's 10. So those 10 houses are 2,163 years, not 2,160. This is 2,160 works with this 12 sphere, but the 2,163 works with the 10 sphere.
I get that clearly.
But we've still got more or less an equal age, haven't we? We've actually got equal. We've got equal. 2,160, 2,163. You know, like they're close. But as we know, that is 216 years difference. 72 years per 1 degree is 72 years, right? Exponentially. You know, when we're talking about the exponential over 0 to 1, 1 to 0, you know, that over the 0, there's 144 years, 272s. Well, if there's a 3 difference, there's 216 years, isn't there? 372s. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I follow you good. I follow you good.
Yeah.
One degree every 72 years, eh?
Yes.
Right, I follow you good.
2 years. So there's actually
and the 3 extra years, 3 times 10 is 30. 2,163.
Yeah.
For a 10 span.
For a 10 span.
2,160 for a 12 span.
Yes.
So I'm just saying the 3 extra years for the 10 is 30 years.
Well, it's actually it is 30 years, but it's 30 years in the 10, but in the 12 it's 216, 372 in the 12.
Okay. I think I have the 30. Where my mind with the 30 is because that same 1 degree every 72 years adds up to the 2,160, which is really 30 degrees. So I think that's what it was. Okay. Yeah, that's really what you are.
Yeah.
I think that's what's in my heavens. A lot of mathematics, eh?
Yeah. But anyway, but you get the idea what I'm saying. So
I definitely with you.
Yeah. So that 2,163 gives us the 363. It's an epithet. It's the epithet of Rehorakti, the lion. You know, it's called Rehorakti. Rehorakti is the proper name, right? Or
Raharakati. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whatever one you use. Now, the reason it's Re or Ra is because there's a female line and a male line. If it's Ra, it's the male line. If it's Re, it's the female line. Right? That's there's a difference, right? Because the Sirius has got 2 functions. It's a male and a female.
Female, right.
It works in 2 different functions in the 2 different. One is male and one is female, you know? So anyway, what I wanted to get, because we're gonna have to close up here, but so I want to get now that we've established the 163, the 2163, the 363, you know, the 63, the 63, 970, 63, you know, 2 prime numbers, 97, 63. It is a Christological number. The 363 is a Christological number.
363.
Right? When I say Christological, it's to do with the Christ, or to do with the divine, is the divine measurement, right? Now, if we take, so we're going to go back now to 1321 BC with the we're going to go, not 1320, it's 1320 in the East. You remember when we said last time it's 1320 or 21? Remember when we spoke about that because of the difference in the calendar? Right. So from 1320, which is the Ethiopian measurement, right? If we take 363 from 1320, it takes us right down to 5957, which is Emperor Menelik the First. Right? The
957.
957. If you look in the Ethiopian king list, do you want me to show you?
Of course, definitely for clarity.
Okay, let's just do it for a little proof.
For clarity. Because also looking at your table of serious water stations here. And obviously making all the connection with the Shabaka stone, the zodiac circle, the water station, you know, the island there, Elephantine. Several things we already covered there, you know.
Let me just
the 11 one, the 10 one, and the 12 one. You know, it's all mathematics.
It's all mathematics.
Yeah, it's all mathematics. Some very allegorical, esoteric mathematics as well too.
I can't find it.
Very much so. So you'd have to know which one to use depending on what you're trying to figure out. Whether it's the 10, the 11, the 12, then you got the 13 too. Yeah, quite interesting.
But the 13 is the epigeminal month, the little 5-day month.
5-day month, yeah.
You know, which is why with that, brethren, with that, the epigeminal month, it is also, you know, the 5 days, which that is what is used to regulate the calendar. It is also working in the macro. The micro, what we call, is terrestrial, you know, down on Earth, like a yearly calendar. But if you
do divide the 365 into 28-day months, the 13 becomes more. You wouldn't get the 5-day, you'd get 28, and maybe one would have 29, something like that. Some kind of twitch like that. But anyway, let's continue here, no, because the time really.
I'm just gonna get to that now. Right, 957 after.
Oh, sorry, I thought you had it there because
I'm here now. Hold on, I'm here.
So we're looking at the chronology.
Yeah, we're looking
of the
at
Ethiopian kings list. My brother has done a lot of work here on the preparation of his book. As you can see, there's like page 332. So you can see this ain't no joke. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Okay, you see there, look, here we are on the page here, Menelik the First,
957 BC. I hear you. Right.
If you add 363 to that, you will end up at 1320.
20 or 1320, 21, give or take that one. Yeah, which I know is very important too.
It will be 1320, exactly.
So you add the Christ number itself.
Yes, add the Christ number itself, 363.
Yep. I get that, man. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean this.
So this is it. So this is and if we go to the previous page, you'll see Queen Makeda. See her there, 982.
Yes.
Right? She was married, or she then had the seed of King Solomon.
Yes.
But the seed is the seed out of the water. The seed of the water way back into the ancestral history.
Mm-hmm.
The seed has been carried through the water stations, because this is the water station of 1320, and then boom, the 363 comes, And I'll tell you another thing. This is just to give you a lovely little bit of cream to cream it off. The 4363, right, is from 245 from 2000. Right. Okay. Let me just show you this. I'll just show you this. 2000. Okay. You see that, brethren?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can see this.
Okay. Now, so this is now the 12th sphere, right? And you see this cusp here where I've got Kingdom of David.
Kingdom of David, yes.
2000. Yes. It is the age of Amen. That is what we seal with our prayers. Amen. We use the name of Amen. Now, Amen, right? You see the 1321 there, right? You've got Amen at 2,455. If you take from 2,455, 4363, which is what is Imhotep has put on his calendar wall, right, around his complex at Saqqara. If you measure from 2455 BC, which is in the king list, which we go back. Should I go back to the king list to show?
Yeah, we can. Yes.
Right.
So we follow perfectly.
Okay.
Once it's not too difficult, I think it's right there. Yeah.
It's there. So we want 245 BC, right?
And that's the reign of Amen.
Amen. Yeah. He began, he reigned for 21 years, right? This is the end of his reign, right? So he reigned for 21 years from 2455 to 2434, right? His reign is 2455 BC.
I get that. Yeah.
That's when it began. So that is why you saw me now with the age. That's why you saw me with the age line here.
Of King David, Amen, right. Interesting.
Okay,
right.
Amen Ra, right? Now, so that is the beginning of the age. That is the beginning of the age of Amen, right? That is when the pyramids were built, they say. right here on this cusp, right? 2455. If you measure,
Some interesting
if you
stuff here,
measure,
boy.
if you measure 4363 from
Yeah.
there, it takes you to 1909, which is the first year that His Majesty and Iteguzoditu were on the throne of Ethiopia as the Holy Mother and her Holy Son.
That's 1909 Ethiopian calendar.
In the Ethiopian calendar. I do talk about the other calendar, you know, I work with this calendar, but this is Ethiopian time. This isn't
Gregorian.
This
Right.
is
Babylon time.
Ethiopian time. You
Wow.
know?
Interesting. Your alignments are always hitting, you know, several alignments where you hit on.
My brethren,
Very
this is spot on. Believe me, my brethren, this is spot on. This is why I talk with so much power about His Majesty, because this is spot on. I know the mass. The mass is like, you know, the mass is perfect, brethren. You know, perfect. And I can show you, I can even birth that pole. You see that pole there?
Go ahead, show me.
I can build it. You know where they say that?
No, I'm not seeing the pole. Where is it?
This pole here, 1321. When I say it's the pole, you know what we spoke about before? Look, the pole goes through. This is one side of the earth.
Oh, the pole. Okay, I get you. Yes.
And the pole is going through to the balance. You remember we spoke about it last time?
Yes, right.
Oh, the 1321 pole. It is the most important pole in the whole 26,000 year cycle. This one here, you know? Now, look, we've got 1599 here, like we just spoke about, King James I, 1601, and here's the 1599.
Yes,
you know, they're children. They're children, brethren. They're children. They're in kindergarten. This is our African God and King, brethren. So I hope that we could finish it here. Not say I hope we could. I can go on and show you much more. I mean, you know, this is only like we're just like again we're just touching the surface. You know.
But also, what I would do too, I would encourage, man. You know, we have to continue. I hope when we do it again, we can continue directly from here.
Yeah, but well, that's what we did. We continued from the. That's why I brought the book up.
I would encourage anyone at the same time too, you know, that some may be seeing this and may not have seen the first video, which is just a few videos back on our YouTube channel. I think they should take it in as well. It would add a lot to even this second presentation that the brother has done here, Brother Seifa Sellassie, and this whole cosmic clock here, which is very key. But you know, again, we're gonna have to come again, my brother, and
well, when I come again. When I come again, brethren, I'll build the pole for you. You see how they say Isis fashioned the pole. She didn't have the seed. She never had the seed of Osiris, so she fashioned the pole. And then when she fashioned the pole, then she brought the seed from the pole. You know that in the story of Osiris.
Right.
You know that story, right? Well, that pole is fashioned. You know, it can be built, right? And I can build it. You know, I know the mathematics. I'll show you the mathematics. Now I just showed you the mathematics to show you how Menelik I is the seed, the royal seed, the seed that's been coming through for 64 million years. If that, you know, we can go back 200 million years if we want to. We can go 192 million years if we want to. We can go 3 times that if we want to.
Yes, my lord. Well, I mean, just said it, man. And we, as you could see, we have time here, and we want to go as far 1 billion years. Any which way we can do it, we'll do it.
Yeah, well,
my lord, definitely. We have to seal it here for this evening.
Yes.
But yeah, man, the presentation was definitely well accepted. I know that for sure. Because it's a totally different level. It's not nothing that you hear no regular talking at all like this. But we promise the audience that we will get to this again very soon to take this to another level. But I don't know if you have any closing words that you could just leave with the family even before, you know, we seal up here tonight.
My honorable priest king, you servant of King Emmanuel Charles, Priest King Emmanuel Charles, I honor you very much.
Oh.
And all of the brethren who, you know, I hope this can come to some way to eliminate the burning of the Bible and refuting His Majesty's divinity, because that's what's happened, you know, brethren. The people have lost faith. They've lost faith in His Majesty. That is what is going on.
He's a regular man like all of us now.
He's not like one of us, you know. And people who don't want to hear it and who are influencing young Rastafari who are coming up, you know, you best check yourself. That's what I want to say, because this is the truth. And if you don't know the truth, learn the truth. But if you don't know the truth and don't want to know the truth, don't stop other people from learning the truth. That is what I want to say, you know, especially to influential members of the Rastafari community who are burning out this kind of work or burning out His Majesty's religiosity, because religiosity comes out of this science. This is the science of mankind, and His Majesty is the God of the earth, and His Empress Aitegumenin is the goddess, and Empress Zoditu is the Holy Mother, and Our Lady Wazira Yeshimabet, she's Dengel Mariam. You know, these are the 9 gods, these are the Enid, the 9 gods of creation. You see Sap and Horus, that is His Majesty, and that is His Majesty and Lijasu as they were coming up. You know, believe me, brethren, you know, and all of this stuff is in my book. And we're going to mash down Babylon with this book here. May I tell you that. That's my work. And I work for His Majesty. I'm a soldier of His Majesty. That's all I am. I'm just an instrument of His Majesty. I'm the sword of the Holy Trinity. Kadamawi, Haile Selassie.
Yes, my Lord. Glorify, give thanks again.
Yes, my Lord.
I think I know how to make you exit here. And yeah, man, we will link very soon, my Lord.
All right, beloved, give thanks. And keep you're gonna my granddaughter, you're gonna hear from her this week, brethren.
Your granddaughter.
School.
The international home school. Rastafari.
Yes,
blessed Lord. Give thanks.
Honor and respect, brethren.
My Lord. Yes, we do give thanks. Wonderful, wonderful presentation. But of course, just reminding you that this Sunday, at least depending on when you may hear or see this, but this Sunday, the 22nd day of November, Bible Decoded. And of course, I must say that we got a little of that a moment ago. I think the levels that it's obvious that these 2-hour programs is not enough, you know, to really express what the good brother has to express. In fact, no 2-hour program. Listen, our lecture coming up on Sunday is basically 2 hours. And I'm telling you that we can do what we have planned in 2 hours. But it's not just that 2 hours. Brother Seifa Sellassie, he doesn't really, at least not now, at this time, he doesn't operate a platform. But if you notice what I'm doing, I take my Shock of the Hour programs, I take the YouTube programs, and develop the narrative around whatever subject area we're going to deal with when we go into the webinar, you know. And in fact, we've been building this whole narrative for years. So if you've been listening to Priest Isaac for 4 years, you have at least an idea of where we stand on certain subjects. You understand? So what Brother Seifa Sellassie is really bringing is, to me, something almost brand new. It can't be brand new if it's the truth, but it's as his name does suggest, cipher. He's like deciphering something here. Although cipher means the sword of the sword, cipher. But you know, in English terms, he's ciphering out. He's really ciphering out. I mean, it may sound to some a bit hard to understand because of the numbers. A lot of us, we are not, we don't familiarize ourselves with numbers when mathematics is life. Even language is maths. So it's a lot of numbers. I must say, because maybe you're not seeing the numbers on the board. And that's another thing I could suggest to the good brother. Because I noticed, you know, when you see numbers on the board, and you can see it, especially if you don't have to do the maths yourself and the maths has already been done for you. It actually eases your mind and your brain, and you could easily pick up the point, you know. But as you could see, he already has everything illustrated in his books, or in his book, pardon me, that he has been working on for a while. And that's Bible decoded to me. But as I said, there are different layers of it. So maybe what I'll be bringing will be slightly different than that. He's dealing with a lot of maths. And of course, you can see the king list calendar, the king list, pardon me, the list of the Ethiopian kings is quite, important to the whole deciphering of what the good brother is doing. So yes, enough respect to him, and that works. But still highlighting again, Sunday, the 22nd of November. Looking forward to seeing you. Remember, November. Remember, you could definitely make the payments via the Cash App, which is Atonra 2723, ATONRA 2723. If there's any problem whatsoever with that, you could even contact us, and we'll give you all the information that you need as it relates to such way you could just get the Cash App itself, or we could give you another means and way for you to make that contribution. And remember, still, once you are a member of the Shock of the Hour, you don't even have to worry about no Cash App or nothing. You just know that you will get your key to enter into the lecture next Sunday, which is the 22nd. And let me just highlight again, to be a member of the Shock of the Hour, all you have to do is contact us, email precise27@gmail.com. And of course, we have a special at this moment, where you can get the whole Shock of the Hour. You could get a month's worth of the Shock of the Hour for free. And to do that, all you have to do is to partake of another special that we already have. This is a special by itself, where you could get our three DVD documentaries, or the 3 ebooks, whichever one you desire. No, we ain't gonna mix them up. You gotta be the documentaries or the book. The Master of Ceremonies, the documentary 7, and of course the Night of the Black Tiger. And I must say, these documentaries, pardon me, are children friendly, meaning that each of them are over an hour long. But I mean, your child would sit and watch. Let's be honest. Sometimes, we may have a little lecture going on, or maybe we have a little program, we're doing a little talking, or even have a guest. And the little child there with you, and they want to go lay down or something or the other, because big people talking. Yeah, but we have designed these documentaries somewhat like the homeschool program as such, to keep the attention of a child, which is very, very important. So they're children friendly. So you could definitely get these documentaries, the 3 of them, for only 50 United States dollars. And not only that, that alone is the special, but not only that, added to that, you get a free month's worth of the Shock of the Hour radio program. Or you could do the same thing with the book, Anu, Ancient and Modern, the True Biblical Land of Israel, or The Heavens Declare the Glory of the Most High. And of course, the same thing adds here, 50 United States, and you get a whole month's free of the Shock of the Hour. Plus, again, if you do this today, you will come into the lecture on Sunday for free, because you are a member. I'm telling you all of this, so you can sit down and do your maths. Because you may say, hey, I want to go to that lecture Sunday, but it's just $20. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go. And then you say, well, wait, if I pay $50, I can become a member of the Shock of the Hour. Yeah, wow. And I still can go to the lecture for free. I don't have to buy the ticket. Yeah, wow. But wait, hold on. But if I take the $50 and buy the 3 book, yeah, I get the 3 book, plus I get a Shock of the Hour for the month, and I can start to pay next month for the rest. Yeah, and I still get the lecture for free. Wow, plus other things that I don't even know about. So it's just up to you. You can sit and meditate and make the decision yourself. But anyway, I think I've taken enough of your time for the evening. Give thanks for your presence with us. Of course, as we always say, before we say what we always say, highlighting the Shabaka stole once again. Yeah, man, give thanks to the science and the zodiac belt and the rays, the 11, the 10, and the 12. I don't know if you gathered all of that, and then going into the 13, and I think there's a 14th too, you know, but it's some deep science. And when Brother Seifa Sellassie revisits us again, I'm sure we'll continue and take this to another level. And you may have heard him speak about our homeschool programming. We also put the video that we did, the free presentation, we put it up on the YouTube. So if you have not seen it, you could check it out for sure. It just gives you an idea of what our homeschool programming is all about. And as the good brother said, his granddaughter will be a part of that before the week comes to an end. So we give thanks for the patronizing of such a service that we have to offer, which will do nothing but add to the dimensions of your youth. You better believe it. But anyway, as we say, if you know your Bible and you do not know your history, the knowledge of your Bible will become a mystery. And of course, you know, it takes some real eyes to realize the real lies that are amongst us. Yeah. Keda Haile Selassie, Rastafari. Blessed love.